Okay, so once we have our string for the cross stitching, right? Because you're going to see that with the cross stitching, there's a lot of different things that we can do, right? And this is basic cross stitching right here, what you're looking at right here, where you see it's just their crosses. But you can do a back stitch, a running stitch, and I'm going to tell you what all those things mean. But first, let's see this, right? We've got the yarn. I'm going to put it through the needle, and you might say this is a lot of yarn to put through a needle. And what I don't want you to do is to moisten the tip. Do not wet this and then try to poke it through the hole. That's just not going to work, okay? What you want to do is go ahead and pinch it right here. You pinch it and then kind of go ahead and try to pull it out. Now if you're only like, oh, I only got 2 of them out, I didn't get this green one, that's fine. Then you know, you're just going to have to pinch it again and squeeze it through. So notice what I'm doing is I'm squeezing it through. And that's how you can get them all in there, just like that. Okay? Now, when you're pulling through, you got to be careful, because sometimes you might pull some strings more than others, and then you get this happening. So yeah, you're going to have to maybe, and when that happens, then you have to start again all over from the back, go forward like this, and then try to, and then pull over here. So when you pull, you see how now the needle is nice, and so now you can go ahead and go like this a little bit. Leave this. Do not try to tie a knot. Do not do any of that. Okay? So now I'm ready to start stitching. And here's an example already of someone who was stitching just the border. And what they did was they went ahead and went around it, but you can see, okay, so what they did was a half stitch this way, right? They went around like this. Then they chose another color, and now they're going this way. So they're making a cross right in here. And so let me show you what that's going to look like, or how you can do something like that, right? So, right, if I take something like this, or let me take a, let me get a different one. Here we go. So some of your baskets, they look like this, right? This is your basket. And what you're going to do is, on the inside of the basket, right, you will go inside your basket, and on the inside of the basket, there's the knot, and you're not going to pull any more than that, because if you pull too much, then, you know, it's going to go through the hole. So now I'm out here. Alright, if I want to do a line, okay, if I want to do a line, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go forward one, and I'm going to give, I've given you guys some, I'm going to give you guys some copies, but it's just so you can see this, right? It's kind of hard with all these things. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go forward one, oh boy, here we go. Alright. Well, first off, if I just went over, under, and over again, this would be called a running stitch, meaning the stitch is running away from you and it's just running. And you could do that, you can just go like this, but what happens is it becomes like a dash. So this stitch would be a dash, you see, and you can hardly see it because it keeps going underneath the other one, right? But it's there. Now, if I don't want to do a running stitch and I want it to be solid, they call that a back stitch. And so what does the back stitch look like? The back stitch, let me take it out here. Let me take this one out. All right. So so I have this here. So I just went from inside the basket out, over, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go forward one. It's like the running stitch, but what happens is this. Instead of going over, I'm going to go back one. I'm going to go back one, and when I go back one, I'm going to go forward. I'm going to skip two and go forward. So it's going to look like this. And this can be tricky because it's always going to get caught with all of the stuff. You also want to make sure that you keep your hand in here like this. And see how I'm doing this with my thumb? It's nice. It helps keep it running. And if you see that there's one or two, you have to grab them all. Now the point is to not be super tight. Okay? You don't need to be tight. So now I'm going to go back one. See, I'm going to go back one and then underneath two. And I'm going to go forward like this. And this is how you can create like just a line. A line, right? So you see how now it's creating a line, doom, doom, doom. So this is what they call a back stitch. Okay, a back stitch. So let's look at that. A back stitch. Well, these are not back stitches. These are just cross stitches. I have to print one out. A back stitch. So again, so I'm here. I'm going to go back one, underneath, two of them, back out again. So back one. Here, there I am, back one, but I'm going to go under two of them, and then I'm up again. Okay, so you have your running stitch, you have your back stitch, which makes the solid line. The running stitch makes the dash, and so the other thing that you want to learn now is the cross stitch, right? So you can see how I'm already doing it right there, right? You know, the back looks the same like that. Alright, now, to do a basic cross stitch. Alright, let me go ahead. Let me come under here. Oh my gosh, this is really catching on everything. All right. So you're basically, I'm going to do it right here. So let's suppose I come up. I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to go diagonal. Diagonal right here on this square. So I'll go diagonal, and of course I can go larger. Yeah, let me go larger. Let me go large. I'm going to go over two of them. So you see this? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my square, right? Oops, sorry guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my square right in here. That's what I'm going to use, okay? And so that way you guys can see it better. I'm just going to do a dot. See this? Right there. That's going to be my square. So I'm going to do a cross in here. So, but I'm not going to go cross and then cross. I'm going to go cross, 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 and then back. If I wanted to do one, I could, but you know, That would be too much. So if I went this way, then I can go ahead, go down. Sorry, went this way, go down, go across, right here. This can be confusing. Don't go here. That's not it, right? I got to think about 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, here's the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go diagonal. And the thing is to keep it loose. You don't need to make this super tight. You want to keep it loose so it stays nice and like poofy, right? So now I'm going to come back down here, and then I'm going to go diagonal right over here. Okay. So now I've went diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. So I'm going diagonal, down, diagonal, down, diagonal. Then I'm going to go down. Right? Because you can see if I turn it around, see, these are my downs. Down, down. Now I'm ready to go the other way. And the other way is just easy. You're going to go diagonal. And so you see, there's my first cross. Then I'm going to go down. It's the same hole, same spot. I'm going to go up, diagonal again, same spot, then diagonal, and then down, and then diagonal again. Okay? Another thing that you can do, okay, is once you've done this, and let me see if I can bring it, out here. Another thing you can do is you can run another set of strings . See, I don't have another set of string, but let me just use this. You can run another cord or string right underneath these for even more, you know. So you can grab another set of colored yarn, or maybe multiple of one colored yarn, and you can go ahead and put this right in there. So that could be also another design element. You can also go underneath and around and underneath again with your yarn, so you can create like a knot. See this? So you can do something like this, and this will look kind of nice actually. So your baskets, you are not to fill up the whole basket with yarn unless if that's what you want to do, okay? But I do want you guys to do some ornateness on there. Do some decorations on there. Here, all I did was just go diagonal, 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 and I'm just going diagonal with really thick yarn. This individual, again, what is she doing? She wants to make like a border that goes around, and she's doing X's. So first she did orange going diagonally like this, right? And then she went back and now she's working in the blue. So that's what she's doing there. And she'll probably do another stripe going around here like that as well. Okay?